welcome fans to episode 82 of Rangers Ed. This is your host, Cousin Ed. I'm here with my co-host, Little Ed, Coach Ed, and our producer, Mikey. What's up, Mikey?
What's going on, boys? How's everybody been?
Got the Lundqvist banner up in the white wall. Love it.
You defrost yet, Mikey, from Sunday?
Yeah, I'm still trying to warm up. Went down to the Giants game. Saw that pitiful game by the G-men for all you Giant fans out there.
Yeah, it was rough.
Funny story. Got a nice little funny story with EA the PA. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but they make heated jackets. Milwaukee makes a heated jacket where you actually like plug in the batteries that you use for the drills into the jacket, keeps you warm. So it was below freezing. I would say it's like 31, 30. So EA the PA gets cold pretty easily.
It was that cold? Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. So she has 5 of these batteries.
I lent her my jacket and 3 of my batteries. Then what? You had 2 of your own?
Yeah. So we're waiting online, fighting the whole crowd. We get to security and guy goes, yeah, I don't know. I can't let you in with these. I was like, well, no, they're for her jacket. They're just, they're gonna warm her up. He's like, yeah, I've been letting people like with 1 or 2 buy, but I can't let you in with 5. And then me and Aaron are walking the whole complete opposite direction, trying to get back to the car. It was a nightmare, but made it through.
God.
Made it through. She made that one battery last.
Why didn't you just take a couple? She
That's
takes
what
a
I was
couple,
just
you
gonna
take
say.
a couple. Hey,
Well,
the person behind you, hey,
then
can you
what?
take this through for me? Like,
Yeah.
hey, can you
pass
take this
backs.
through? Yeah.
I mean, what do they think? You were going to throw them at the players? They're not like D batteries like they did back in the 80s.
I mean, I don't know what they thought, but they said no. So
No, they're
So
a
the-
power
I'm one-
source. You could build something with them inside the stadium that I'm not going to talk about, but
couple
Yeah, I
paper
guess
use
so.
as a
clips and
power
some
source.
scotch tape. Yeah.
Wow,
But,
that's really crazy. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. They don't let you in with batteries. You can't take anything into the games anymore.
well, they're a pretty big battery. It's like for like a power drill, so it's not like a little like battery pack or something for a cell phone. It's like
And
this chunky
the guy
thing.
who
Because
opened the bag.
I'm thinking of like a D battery, like you said.
No, it's like
not that big.
it like goes in the bottom of a Milwaukee drill. It's probably like
okay.
3 inches tall, and then it has like a maybe an inch and a half diameter or something. And like they're pretty like long, and I don't know.
No, I get it now. Yeah, that's pretty big. And how many? She had 5? Damn.
Yeah, the guy who opens the bag is like looking. He's like, "What are these?" He had no idea. So then
I
he
was like,
goes to like
make it-
his supervisor, and the supervisor's like, "Yeah, we can't do that."
Yeah, I got a friend with a Milwaukee drill meeting me inside.
We're
I
going to
had,
bust into the locker room.
Yeah, I
like,
was telling her the night before that I used to wear them to coach. Me and Coach Ed did, and they wouldn't last very long. You had to like kind of like pace it, like turn it off in between periods when you're in the locker room and whatever. So she got nervous, and I guess that's why they tried to bring in all 5 batteries. She
Oh
probably
my
wanted
God.
to have it on full blast the entire 4-hour football game, 5-hour football game.
damn, and that is a long walk back to the car, man. That's not.
Yeah, it was.
And then it was a long drive home too, right?
Oh my God.
I guess it's a good thing you didn't take the train. What would you have done?
I feel like the train would have been better for at least the ride home.
No,
Shout
but
out
you
to
would
my
have just tossed the batteries at that point. Where you go, nowhere to put them.
Oh yeah, at that point. No, we wouldn't have just gone to the game. I would have sold the tickets.
I hate the ride home from the Garden on the train. The Meadowlands is brutal.
What is it like? The
Yeah, but-
path train to you got to take the path to Penn or something like that, right? And then Penn to Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a train from Meadowlands to like Secaucus, then from Secaucus to Penn, Penn to
Oh,
Long Beach. But my buddy Ed, who was driving, I mean, thank you Ed for driving. But
wait, his name was Ed, and it
yeah,
wasn't him.
no,
Yeah.
Get out of here.
misses the exit. We were supposed to take the tunnel. The tunnel was the fastest way. Misses the exit for the Lincoln Tunnel. And we end up going all the way down south to freaking Staten Island,
Oh, my God.
dealing with all that traffic. I almost lost my mind.
It's hilarious.
That's
really
brutal.
cool.
Any sandwich
terrible.
reviews going on at the Meadowlands? Oh, no, you guys tailgated.
Yeah, we ate. We didn't eat there.
Well, how was the tailgate sandwich?
Could have been better. I told JJ that.
Huh.
And we got little Ed over there reaching back for his kicks.
Before we move on, I mean, I know a few guys saw these last season. I I went to put them on for the first game this season, and they were in rough shape. Shout out to Das Beer Garden for the playoffs last year. Had a lot of stains on them and just nonsense. So I cleaned them up nice. I threw another fresh coat of red paint on them, and I got some nice new Rangers themed hockey laces, I guess, whatever, red, white, and blue laces I found on Amazon. So you guys are listening, check it out on YouTube when you get home, and if you want your own pair, I'll definitely do them for you.
What about speaking of sneaker
I've
commercials?
already told you I want my own pair, and you haven't done them for me yet.
Did you buy them?
I want everything.
buy the pair of shoes online, ship them to my house, and I'll do them for you, and I'll ship them to you.
Listen,
the guy,
it's like that sneaker commercial
it looks
on
amazing in
MSG.
person. Uh-huh.
It's like the guy that paints the sneakers. Has Nicky Bosniak seen that guitar commercial they have on MSG?
I'm sure he has.
Oh my God, I can't even describe it.
Coach, get Instagram and message him and ask him if he's seen the commercial.
You probably have his number. But yeah, they took me through last year's playoff run very nicely, and they were in rough shape, so I had to clean them up for a fresh run this year, hopefully.
We got to get over there to the beer garden.
Now they're ready to be worn again.
They look so sick in person, those shoes. First time I saw them, I was like drooling. I was so jealous.
Yeah, I love them.
They're so dope. But
I was afraid there was going to be a little bit too much red, but I think it pops.
Nah, dude, it looks sick. Looks good. But all right, we got a lot to talk about, right? 2 games, but still jam-packed with stuff to discuss. So prior to the last episode, the Rangers were 8-6-3. They went 1-0-1 in these games, and they currently sit at 9-6-4, 22 points, 4th in the Metro, 13th in the NHL, tied for 13th. So they on the road trip in Seattle. Igor Shesterkin lost in overtime to Seattle. They were lucky to get a point in that game with the goal late by Trocheck, and then at San Jose, a 2-1 win. Kind of a snooze fest until middle of the second. But yeah, that's it. So now they're in LA tonight. Today's the 22nd, so they're in LA tonight, and then Anaheim, and then that ends the road trip. They come back home, face Edmonton and New Jersey. So hopefully they can finish the road trip strong. Pretty good start. They got 3 out of 4 points. Coach Igor Shesterkin looked a lot better in these games. I feel like he wasn't necessarily challenged as much, but he made some big stops in the second period against Seattle, and also in the third period. And against San Jose in the last 20 seconds, he gives up the goal, but he saves the game on the net. They get a shot with 5 seconds left. I mean,
they can't even play a full 60.
It's crazy, but I that's a little better from Igor Shesterkin. He's been good this year. I mean, his fans are always not as good as he was last year. He's been good. He's 3-2 or whatever. His save percentage is fine. He's top 10 in goals saved above expected, but not the same level as last year. But this was a little bit better.
These last couple of games, he's been back to last year's form. I think.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit of a hangover from last season, and he's starting to just get back into his groove for sure.
Yeah, I think
especially, the defense. I think we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but the Rangers as a whole playing defense these last 2 games didn't look too great. So for him to stand up or rise to the occasion like that, it's a good sign. Especially against San Jose, I thought the defense looked real ugly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the defense is a mess right now. But honestly, when you look at the team last year, it's a good comparison because we have a lot of the same players. It's obviously some changes, but last year the team was still bleeding chances. It wasn't like they were this elite defensive team. It's just that Shesterkin had almost a 940 save percentage for the season. So it's it masks it. If he has a 935, 940 save percentage right now, the Rangers have 2 or 3 or 4 more wins.
Yeah.
And
I think towards the end of last season, they played better as a whole team defense. But I think the defensemen played better towards the end of the season and in playoffs. So I was kind of expecting that to carry over this season, and so far it hasn't really happened in my eyes. I mean, obviously Fox is amazing. I'm not individually they're all playing pretty well, I guess, but as a whole they're making a lot of mistakes, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you make with defensemen and team defense. because
Right.
those are two different things, right? I mean,
Mhm.
coach always harps on, it's not, yeah, Miller could have done X, but why was, Heedle doing Y? And that's why Miller had to do it, right? And he's always harping
Yeah.
on stuff like that. I think team defense has been really bad. It has not been good.
Yeah, but why do you guys say that? I
I
think
think-
their shots against are very good this year compared to last year.
Well, they're not giving up so many
shots
shots.
against. It's like this high scoring chances. They're giving up bad chances. I feel like on just like simple mistakes, like blown coverages. I noticed a
Blown
lot.
coverage
Miller,
everywhere. Blown coverage.
yeah,
everywhere.
Miller, especially in the overtime. I know you want to talk about that too. I'm jumping ahead again, but he just like him and Panarin had the guy, and he went over to challenge him also, and left the guy in the slot wide open. Like on a 3-on-3, you just got to play man on man. I don't really understand that at all. We've been trying to get Miller out there on the 3-on-3 for how long, and finally he goes out there, and that was just a simple mistake, in my opinion, for a defenseman that's supposed to be elite or on his way to becoming elite. You can't be making those plays.
I think he was out the last time they lost in overtime too, because I remember
Yeah.
saying I wanted him out there, and he made a
Yeah.
mistake.
It's a shame because it's like he hasn't been playing that bad, but like just something like that, just you can't.
I mean,
it just can't happen.
We're almost a quarter of the way through the season. We're at 19 games. Season's 82 games, so we're almost 20 games in, and there's just a lot of disappointment from a lot of fans. But from my perspective, I just have a lot of disappointment with some of the young players, like just not enough growth, too much inconsistency. And Miller's one of them. And yeah, Miller in the first 5 games of the year, I was like, this guy's going to be an all-star,
Yeah.
but he's just, something's off. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's just something that he has to go through to take that next step. But sometimes these kids don't take that next step. They just are an inconsistent player where sometimes they show. Some players are like that, right? Where they show flashes where they're like, oh man, this guy should dominate. And then for 20 games, they're like, what the hell's going on with this guy? Hopefully that's not Keandre. He's still young. I haven't been happy with his play at all, to be honest. I mean, Coach, you always talk about with his size and his speed, he's got no goals. No goals. You
I'm
said
watching,
20 goals this year, right? 18
yeah,
goals.
no, I said 15 plus.
It's a lot of goals for a defenseman, man.
It is. I thought he was going to do it. He's skating very well, but I think, like Eddie said, the decision making at certain points of the game is just not in sync with the rest of the team for some reason.
He might not even get 5 goals. I mean, we'll see. So yeah, I mean, we can go one by one. I think we all talk about Lindgren. He's just Lindgren. I don't have an issue with Lindgren. Foxy has been amazing in this run here. He was, what was he, 3rd star of the week or something? He leads the team in game-winning goals. The interesting thing about Fox, I was looking at this, he has 0 power play goals and 6 goals on the season. So he has 6 goals at even strength, and he has 4 of them are game winners.
Leads the team, right? Definitely.
Yeah, he's got to lead the team in even strength goals because Zibanejad has 10 goals and 7 of them on the power play. Kreider has 7, 4 on the power play. Trocheck has 6, 4 on the power play.
Yeah.
So yeah, he leads the team in even strength goals for sure. So
I mean, that's definitely got to change.
He's been
great for
he's been
Fox,
unbelievable.
Like,
he's been
the
unbelievable.
Rangers can't rely on the power play as much as they do. That was a big problem last year and into the playoffs as well. They got to get better 5-on-5.
Yeah. Sorry, he has 3 game-winning goals. So he's got 6 goals, 3 game winners. He gets another game winner here on an empty netter.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think as a coach, you pretend you're the coach of the Sharks. You pull the goal, you try to tie the game. Rangers get an empty net goal. And then the Sharks score. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking as the Rangers coach?
No, as the Sharks coach, as David Quinn.
What do you mean? What am I thinking?
You're like, oh damn it! If I didn't pull the goalie, it would be a tied game, right? Like,
yeah, but they scored without the goalie on their goal. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a tough decision. It's a tough decision to pull the goalie. A lot of these coaches pull it early. But yeah, so anyway, he gets the game-winning empty net goal, which is not a common feat. So anyone who had the Rangers minus 1.5 was probably disappointed, probably ecstatic with the Fox empty netter, and then devastated with the Sharks scoring. But then Shesterkin.
I was going to say this in the banter, but Sam Rosen freaking jinxed it.
Yeah, whoever had the puck line for sure was.
No, with a minute left, Sam's like, the Rangers shut out the Sharks the last 2 times they played last year. And then all of a sudden, like 30 seconds later, they get on a flurry. I'm like, what are you doing?
For those of you that are new to this podcast, we have a section called the broadcast banter where we get into things that the announcers say. And, that would have been perfect for that segment. But Coach decided to just interject and throw it into the middle of the episode. But yeah, no, he did.
I want to give the new fans a little preview of the banter.
No, it's
a little foreshadowing for him.
I'm just busting your chops. So, so yeah, Foxy been great. We talked about Trouba last episode, and then the third pair has been spotty, So yeah, the defense has not been great. It's definitely.
What do you mean been spotty? Let me talk about that. What's spotty about it?
Yeah, spotty. So first of all, they only play like 10 to 13 minutes a game, between each. So their ability to impact the game is minimal. But there's, a lot of times out there. I'm looking at Schneider. He's again, the kid has a short memory, but he'll make a mistake, a bad pass on the boards, lose the puck, and it leads to a scoring chance, or Jones turnover. When Hayek was out there, he was pretty steady, but he's been in and out with Jones, so he hasn't had a chance.
I don't know what you're watching where you see Schneider giving away the puck regularly, leading to scoring.
First of all, I didn't say regularly.
Well, yes, you did. You said it's spotty.
I said their play has been spotty. They have not been.
How about the fact that when Fox doesn't have Lindgren, all we talk about is how he doesn't play the same, and you got a kid like Schneider, 21 years old, playing with a different partner every 3 games.
Yeah.
And he doesn't miss a beat.
No, I love Schneider. I think he's playing fine.
I'm not going to blame him on much at all.
Coach, you're taking way too much into what I said. Like, it's like Schneider's your son. Your son's right there.
No,
Schneider's not your son.
He's my other son.
You're taking it personally. I love Schneider. I think he's doing a hell of a job. He's 21. He's on the third pair, and he's perfectly good third pair.
And third pair guys don't make an impact on the game generally.
Right.
Third pair guys.
No, I agree.
As they used to say, if you don't hear his name, he did a good job.
Right. I have no issues really with Schneider, but it's not like Schneider is blameless. I mean, I can probably go back over the last 5 games and watch the games and stop and find a play and send you at least 2 or 3.
Well, of course, every play is going to have a bad play.
So then he's been spotty. That's my point. I'm not saying he's been bad, but the defense overall, like, there's not one guy where you're like, oh, maybe except Fox, where you're like, oh, this guy's been perfect. Fox and Lindgren actually, I think, have been good. I would say, if I had to say, like, have they been good? It's really Trouba and Miller that have been concerning, because, like we're talking about now, Schneider and Jones, or Schneider and Hayek, they're not really impacting the game to me. You expect, a goal against here and there against your third pair. It's going to happen. You get the Sidney Crosbys of the world out against Schneider and them, they're going to generate a chance, and it's fine. Eventually, Schneider won't be that. I think it's the Trouba Miller pairing that's really the concern, but.
What was Schneider's plus minus in these 2 games?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Mike.
Look it up.
Wake up, Mike.
Well, considering it's not really a worthy stat, because the Rangers won 2-1, and then they lost 3-2, and they had 2 power play goals. So pretty much the whole team's going to be minus or even, like, it doesn't, there's really no point. There's going to be few guys that are plus in those 2 games.
I might forget it.
I can tell you Schneider's at a 0 right now, but I don't know about these last 2 games.
Right, so he's steady. Right, he's steady, Coach. I'll give you that.
That's what we talk. That's what I'm saying.
he's a 0. It's probably like 3rd on the team too, because the team is bleeding chances at even strength. But for the forwards too, I think the bigger problem, Ed, is the lack of scoring. I mean, I'm looking at these games. They busted out that 8-goal game, but like. 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals. Not enough to win games. You got to get 3-4 goals. Yeah. You got to average consistently at least a hover between 3 and 4 goals per game, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I touched on it before. They need to get better, even strength. They can't rely on their power play so much. I mean, it seems like if they get some power plays, they're scoring at a great clip there, so that's not a worry. But they are getting their chances. The kids line, Kako had a great game against San Jose. He had a lot of good chances. He hopefully can bury one of those in the future. There was a bunch of different chances where like it just seems like those aren't going in like they were last year. I mean, we've been kind of saying it all season.
So,
what's
so
their goals expected at?
it's very high. The Rangers I think they were top 5.
I'm serious. I'm not like
top
I'm
5
joking.
in the NHL in expected goals. Last I
That's
looked.
what I'm saying. So like it just like eventually you got to think that these are going to go in. I mean, we thought they were going to explode
Well,
after that Detroit game.
We're a quarter of the way through the year.
I know. We were hoping it was going to explode after that Detroit game, but it didn't really happen. So
yeah, eventually it's like, is this going to happen? Needs to happen, right? I mean, that's just the reality. I don't know where that is, but I was reading a stat the other day that teams that are in a playoff position by Thanksgiving make the playoffs like 72% of the time or something like that.
Yeah, Valley talked about that about a week ago.
So I saw that. Maybe it was him who said it, but I saw it and I was thinking like, dude, we're hanging on to that 8th seed right now. Like
yeah,
hanging
but they're only 2 points away from the 6th seed.
No, I know there's a lot of parity, so I feel like it's a little different this year, but it's still an interesting point. It's one of those things where
they definitely need to get hot. They need to string together like 3 or 4 wins in a row at least.
I mean, New Jersey's running away with it.
I can't. I don't.
Oh, by the way, who's the head coach?
Away.
Who's the head coach? I never got an answer on that. The
What?
Dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm just answer my question. Who's the head coach of the Devils?
Lindy Ruff.
Okay, the guy who you told me was useless.
He's a terrible defensive coach. The team was awful.
All right,
Coach. I think you like every coach. Is there a coach that you think is not good? Can you think of a coach where you're like, this guy's not a good coach?
I don't like what's his name. I don't
you like Torts.
No, I don't like the Capitals old coach.
You like Trotz, you like Vigneault, you like Quinn, you like Gallant, you like every coach you like.
I don't like. First of all, I don't like Vigneault that much. He's not a good defensive coach.
You liked him as a Rangers coach.
He's all right.
You're like, oh, he's good. He knows what he's doing. He says this, so that's what we're, whatever.
Well,
like,
Ed, the thing is, like, they're NHL level coaches. Like, they're not
so they're
horrible coaches.
I understand.
They got there for a reason.
No, but all Eddie did was blame the Rangers' demise on Lindy Ruff as the defensive coach.
That's not.
And then when he went to the Devils, he's like, "Oh, he'll go over there and ruin them." And now they won 12 straight.
13
straight.
But no, that's not what. First of all, that's not true. And yes, saying they're
100% true.
I'm not 100%. Gotta let me respond. If you guys are gonna talk smack, there needs to be a response. It can't just be you yelling.
It's not true.
It's not
true. True.
No, it's not.
You said he's a dinosaur. The Devils will go nowhere with Lindy Ruff as coach.
I still don't think they will. Okay. He'll end up fired before.
I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, coach, the way that like your need to like get me is like, I think you're rooting for the Devils at this point. You're putting that karma out there. Maybe that's why they're winning. But anyway,
I picked the Devils to make the playoffs this year.
This is the reality. Lindy Ruff, as the Rangers defensive coach, was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I don't care what he's doing right now. It does not matter. He was terrible. All the numbers back it up. He did not know how to deploy the defense, period. I was not wrong. I don't care. He's been with the Devils for how long? They haven't done anything.
A year and a half. A year and a half.
2 years.
Yeah. No, this is the second year.
Are you sure?
I'm fairly certain he was with Quinn, and he wasn't with Quinn. After Quinn got fired, he left.
Okay. So last year, nothing. With the Devils. Horrible. 60
they had a
points.
lot of injuries.
One of the 5 worst teams in the league.
Well, whatever.
Why are we talking about the Devils?
Hold on. And now we are in game 19, and they have won 13 in a row, and coach emerges from the bushes to talk about Lindy Ruff, who you haven't said a word about for a year and a half. But all of a sudden,
we did argue this last year. No, you said he'll get buried in the Devils system and get fired. Just what you just said. You said last year.
They should have fired him.
Right. They wouldn't be winning right now.
Yeah, they would because they're winning because of
dig up this
other guys. But anyway, So
Joey, I know you're.
I forgot what
listening.
my point
They
even
did
was because
find where
Coach just
Coach Ed and
trolled the
Cousin
crap.
Ed argued about him.
All he does is troll me, so I can't even keep track of what I was talking about. What was I even talking about before this conversation with Lindy Ruff?
Snyder defensive pairing.
No, we were past that. We were talking about being in a playoff position by
There you go.
Thanksgiving.
Correct.
So the Devils are just running away with the division. Carolina, the Islanders, Rangers, Penguins all bunched together. But I mean, dude, if you got to beat these bad teams, like you can't early in the year. I get it, but you got to beat Seattle. Like you have to win that game. I don't care. Seattle's good. Every team is good this year, right? Every team except Ottawa, Buffalo, Columbus, Anaheim, and Arizona. Every team is like realistically has a chance of making the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but they're
so
all good teams. None of them are gimmies.
I get it, but the good teams, the contenders, the teams contending for a Stanley Cup beat up on the bad teams and then split the games against the other good teams. That's how it works. Like, they're going to split those games when they play the Devils, the Hurricanes, the Bruins, the Leafs. Those games, they're not going to win them all. They got to beat up. Can't lose to Seattle, but whatever. So anyway, moving on. Talking about the forwards is really where I was going before, and you guys are just pushing me in all directions tonight. You just give me so much crap. Julian Gauthier, I wanted to talk about, is playing great. I feel like he's actually earning more ice time, but he's being effective in that fourth line role. So, I mean, Ed, like, do you think moving Gauthier into a more prominent role with better players is a good move, or do you think he's just being effective where he is, so don't mess with it? What do you think's the right move with Gauthier? I mean, he got another big goal. He's already got as many goals this year as he had last year, for the whole season. So he's playing well. I don't know whether he can consistently do it the whole season is another question. But what do you think? Do you think he just he's found a niche, like leave it or promote him?
Well, shout out to Johnny NYR 1981 on Instagram. He actually messaged me about this. He loves Gauthier and he thinks he deserves a shot. He made a joke. He's like, I don't understand. Like, if VC gets a shot in the top six, why can't we give Gauthier a shot in the top six?
100%.
So
Why
I thought
wouldn't
that was
they?
pretty funny. And yeah, I mean, if he's going to keep playing like this, he got that big goal against San Jose. So he went to the dirty area in front of the net. I mean, getting in, or at least skating in front of the net when Troup is winding up for a slap shot like that, definitely takes some balls. So, no, I think sending him down to Hartford kind of woke him up, made him realize that the AHL life is not what he wants to be living. And he's definitely playing right now that he doesn't want to be sent down again. So
I think even bigger than that,
hungry.
too. Even bigger than that, Ed, too. Like sending him down, but also nobody claimed him. Every single team in the league could have taken him for free. Not a single team claimed him, right? So that's got to wake you up as a player. Yeah. Coach, what do you think of Gauthier? You think let's see a little bit more before you promote him? I mean, because look, this coach pushes like, hey, if you play well, you'll get chances, right? That's why we're seeing VC with Zibanejad. That's why we're seeing that because VC's playing well, so he promotes him. Don't you think Gauthier's earned a chance to play? I don't even know where you put him. I feel like putting anyone with Panarin. Yeah, I feel like doing that is just ruining the kid. You're just going to end up playing bad if you put him on that line. So I don't even know what to tell you.
Well, yeah, I don't really like Goudreau with Panarin and Trocheck. I think you got to put somebody.
I don't know if I like Panarin with Trocheck. I don't know. But I feel like Gauthier's earned more ice time, Coach. What do you think?
I mean, he's playing well, but like you said, he's the fourth line player right now, and he's playing most likely against other teams' third and fourth liners. So that might be why he's excelling a little bit. I mean, he had some decent chances, I think, last year on the top lines, and nothing really came of it. So let him succeed a little bit more. He's had a couple of good games. They're drawing that line's drawing a lot of penalties.
Well, I was going to say against Seattle, he draws the penalty late in the game that leads to Trocheck's tying goal, and then he gets the goal against San Jose that leads to the victory, right?
Yeah, he had a good couple of games.
Yeah.
But again, we've seen that last year where he's had a good couple of games and then it disappears. So, it's all about consistency to, over the long run.
Is it Gauthier or Gauthier?
I don't know. Put some peanut butter in your mouth.
I say Gauthier. I don't know.
Gauthier.
Yeah, I just go by how Sam says it because he like looks it up and figures out how to say it. So in the Seattle, let's talk about that Seattle game. So we just said Trocheck ties the game late, it goes to overtime. And we see the first line out, I think it was Kreider, Zibanejad, and Fox. No issues there, right? And then Panarin with Trocheck and Miller. It was the second one. And then the third line that comes out is Barclay Goodrow, Jimmy VC, and Jacob Trouba. Why?
Wait, this is for Seattle?
In the Seattle game.
The game-winning goal was Hedl, Panarin, and Miller.
That was the fourth line that came out.
Oh, that was after. That was not even
the third unit out on the ice was Goodrow, VC, and Trouba, and this is overtime. And all I can remember, and it's an offensive zone face-off, and I'm just sitting there like, why not Lafreniere and Kakko, or like Kakko and Hedl, or Laffy and Hedl, or what the hell? Putting Goodrow and VC out there as your third go-to pairing on offense. I mean, I don't get it. I'm sorry. You guys are going to defend it.
Mike, write this day down because this might be the one time I agree with Eddie in the first 20 games.
Jesus, unbelievable. Coach, I mean, come on. That's ridiculous, right? Like,
look, I've been saying for 2 years I want to see Laffy out there 3-on-3. I want to see Keandre, but Keandre hasn't shown it, unfortunately. But Laffy, I would love to see out there.
You got to give them a chance. I don't see what
Kakko's been playing so great.
I agree.
Talk about deserving ice time. If you're playing that good, he should be out there. Even Gauthier out there in the overtime, he's playing good.
Yeah,
he flies.
Yeah, I don't get using Goodrow in overtime. The only time I would use Goodrow in overtime is if I'm penalty killing, or if it's a tight standings race like late in the year and it's another Eastern Conference team that you're battling for a playoff spot and you want to be conservative in overtime, maybe. But if you're playing Seattle, this is a Western Conference team. You go for that second point. Go for it. You put all your best offensive, fast players out there, possession monster like Kakko. Let him go, control the puck, and create something. What the hell are you doing? Like, and the shift was just a disaster. And then the goal, Hedl. So I saw this online. They were like, "Oh, Hedl was on the ice in overtime for the game-winning goal." Hedl came on the ice, was back checking on a rush that led to the goal, and he gets a minus for that. Right? That's Goodrow and VC shift. He just jumped on the ice. So Hedl wasn't used in overtime. He's been hot. Doesn't get used. Right? Kakko, whatever. It drives me like literally. Don't understand it. Can't think of a rationale for Goodrow and VC being the third forward unit.
So was supposed to be Panarin and Hedl?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I don't know what the fourth unit was. It was Zibby and Kreider, Panarin and Trocheck, and then Goodrow and VC. I didn't even see Hedl get on the ice when they scored. I only saw after that Hedl came on the ice on the replay.
But it was
of the
definitely
goal.
Panarin on the back check.
So
Panarin playing defense, not on the back check. He was skating backwards, playing defense with Miller. So either way, I don't think Panarin should be out there with Hedl. I think you should like Panarin. When does Panarin play with Hedl at all in the entire game? What's the point of that?
At this point, I'd rather just put Panarin.
They're not even on the power play together or anything.
I don't know what I would do, but he's got to shuffle the lines, I think, overall. But yeah, I mean, you're putting a 3-on-3 unit is your point, and these guys don't even play together. No chemistry. They don't play together ever. Hedl and Kakko have chemistry, right? Or put Laffy and Kakko out there. Why not? You know, the fans will go crazy, and if they get a goal, Laffy's got some big game-winning overtime goals in his career. I think his first NHL goal was an overtime game winner, right, against Buffalo.
And they'd be working the hardest out there for sure. Kakko's skating with a purpose almost every shift. I mean, Laffy's got to step it up a bit, but those two players, they'd be hungry for the puck. They'd be flying out there. I don't understand it. I know we're not at practice, but you're telling me these guys aren't skating hard in practice and not earning a chance. Yeah, it's tough.
It's just rough too, because I'm looking at like, what was the point of the rebuild? Like, just overall, let me ask you that, Coach. What was the point of the Rangers rebuilding? No, I'm serious. What do you think it was? Like, in
get to a high playoff level. What do you mean? What's the point? To win the Stanley Cup? I don't understand.
Okay, that's a macro. like generally speaking, like the Rangers were like they wrote a letter to the fans, and they were like, guys, we're
All
gonna
right, I know
rebuild.
what they wanted to draft more players, more younger players, and build a team, and that's what they did. So I
For
don't understand.
okay, so they wanted to draft more younger players to help the team win a Stanley Cup. And they
Right.
did, and that's what they did. And yet, when they get to overtime, they bring out a guy they just signed on a PTO for $750,000 who no other team in the league wanted to give a contract to.
Who they
And
drafted.
Barclay Goodrow, a fourth liner, instead of their number 1 overall pick and number 2 overall pick, that was the prize of their rebuild. I know you're not arguing with me.
How many times?
But I just don't get it.
How many times have you heard Sam Stat saying that this guy hasn't played? He's only making $1 million and he gets the game-winning goal. So putting VC out there isn't a horrible thing. The kid's playing well. I don't have a problem putting VC out there, but not with Goodrow and
No, VC should not be out there in overtime ever. Ever. He
I
should
disagree
never.
with you. The kid's playing
ever.
well. He's got a good.
No, he's
He's
playing
got good
well.
hockey sense and he skates well and he moves the puck well.
Okay.
I don't have a
So
problem with
okay.
VC.
Would you
being
put
out there.
VC out there over Laffy?
No, I said before I'd rather like to see Laffy and Kakko.
Hey,
out
hold
there.
on. Would you put him out there before Kako?
Probably not.
Okay, so that's already. Would you put him out there before Trocheck?
No,
Panarin?
no,
Zibanejad?
no,
Kreider?
no.
Okay, that's already 6 forwards that VC is behind. And I didn't even mention Hedel, Gauthier, other guys that we could probably argue about. But there's at least 6 guys that you're saying VC should be after. Right? I mean, that's my point. Anyway.
Well, first of all, I don't know why in overtime they have 3 or 4 different groups. They should play a minute each and go right back out. It's like freaking playing pond hockey.
Yeah.
You're not busting your ass the whole time. It's playing zone on defense. You get the puck, you move up ice. They should be able to like rotate every other shift. If you're playing the Sharks, yeah, if you're playing the Sharks, I bet you damn anything that Karlsson's out there the whole time. Well,
yeah,
three and a half out of the 5 minutes.
Like Fox probably
right.
Does. Yeah. No, I mean, look, whatever. Hopefully that was a lesson for Gallant and he doesn't do that again. But I want to see these kids play more. I mean, it's frustrating. It's a little frustrating because I don't think they're doing anything to deserve to not play. Their line, I mean, yeah, they haven't been putting up points. But honestly, I see things on Twitter or whatever where fans are, oh, the kid line needs to be broken up. I think it might need to be broken up, but not because they're playing badly. I mean, Ed, do you think like the kid line is playing bad?
No, I think before that they were getting a lot of chances.
I think maybe break them up because the other lines need a spark, so you need to bring Kakko in with Zibby again or something and get that line going at even strength and help Panarin out with Laffy. I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, Coach, you think they should break that line up going forward, or do you see an issue with the line? Or
I had no problem with the lines in the beginning of the year. I don't know why they broke them up so fast. I thought Kakko was playing well with Zibby and Kreider. And all of a sudden they changed it up. I don't know why. Everybody was like, oh, put the kid line back. The kid line is good for a couple of games, then you don't hear from them again.
Yeah,
they should be putting pucks in the net. Again, generally they're going out against the other team's second or third line, let's say. They should be outskilling them and they should be putting pucks in the net.
I agree with that.
Outskating them. And they're not. So, how many games does it take for them to get together?
I like the kid line being used right after a power play because they're a good forechecking line. And I think that, the Rangers control the puck so well on the power play that it like tires out the defense. And by the time the power play is over, those guys need to change. And then you throw Hedel, Laffy, and Kakko out and they can, attack on a tired group of players and really get a chance right after a power play. So I like that. But I agree with you. Like Kakko was dominating with Zibby. He's not been dominating. He's been good, but he hasn't been like dominating with Hedel and Laffy. Laffy was, maybe deferring a little bit to Panarin, but he was playing well with that line. And Hedel was playing well as the star of the third line. So I don't know. Look, whatever. I mean, something needs to change so I get moving. Was that right? I mean, well, he was playing with like Gauthier and Gaudreau and these people, but he was playing well.
What were the lines when they
I
scored?
wouldn't mind that. That's not a bad line, especially with Gauthier playing a little bit better. I mean, maybe that's where you give him a chance in the third line instead of the fourth line.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Hedel playing with him and Gaudreau. I think that would be Gaudreau could balance out Hedel and him, a little bit and bring that veteran presence, and maybe they get some chemistry. I don't know. I think Kakko needs to move back to Zibby though. He was really dominating with them. But we'll see what happens. I mean, look, they got 3 points and 4 out of 4. It's very unlikely, if knowing Gallant's history, that he's going to change the lines. Not that he should or shouldn't at this point. I mean, there's won a close game, so maybe in his mind, all right, we'll start the next game the same. By the way, do we know if Kravtsov's in tonight or not? I got
it up right now.
I'm just curious because we haven't talked about him in a while, and now he's healthy, coach. He's a healthy scratch. He's not just injured. He's been out I think the last 2 games. It was a healthy scratch. Doubt he draws in after a win, right? Who are they going to take out?
That's
Looks
the
like the lines are
question.
the same.
You already got Revo scratched, so you're going to have to scratch Blake, Carpenter, or Gauthier, and I don't think any of them really deserve it at this point.
You're not going to scratch Carpenter for him. He's a center.
Right.
According
So
to
it's
Daily
either
Face Off, the lines are the same.
so Kravtsov scratched again. I mean, at some point, do you think we're going to hear something bad from Kravtsov?
It says injuries day to day. It doesn't say that he's just healthy.
No, he was removed from the list, from the injured list. So,
look, I said it a few weeks ago when he got injured for the second time. His days are numbered. If Gallant's the coach, his days are numbered. He's not going to be on the Rangers much longer.
Well, good thing Gallant's not in control of trading players.
I didn't say he's in control of it, but he's not going to get the time.
Pavel Buchnevich in his rookie year with the Rangers, he only played 41 games. And he wasn't injured. He just kept getting injured throughout the year, right? 21 years old, same age as Kravtsov. I think that's what we're looking at. I think, like we said earlier, Kravtsov's going to draw in. He's going to play 25 to 40 games, and he's going to score, 4 or 5 goals. I thought we might get more, but he's just not physically ready. I think that they really need to use him at some point, though, because we got to see what we have. It's like, if they're going to trade him, fine, whatever. But you got to see what you have with the kid before you trade him. Like, play him a little bit, give him some.
Yeah, but you can't change. You got to go for wins, Ed.
Yes,
they're close to a Stanley Cup type of team. You can't say, "Oh, let's just try him out." So if you want to just try him out, you're going to try him out on the 4th line. You're not going to be happy with that. You're going to say he should be getting top 6 minutes. So you're risking a kid, putting him in top 6 minutes in somewhat of a playoff year that they should be in the playoffs.
Coach, believe it or not, I don't claim to know all the answers or have them.
I'm just playing devil's advocate about how you contradict yourself.
I just want to clarify. I know it is. I'm giving both sides, so
you can't do that. You got to pick a side. I can give both sides to every argument. Also,
why? I'm a lawyer,
right? So you're supposed to pick one side and defend it, not go back and not flip flop. You can't flip flop as a lawyer.
You're wrong. A good lawyer will analyze every case from both sides, even though one is not good for their client. And then when they go to court, they zealously advocate for their client.
All right. However, we're in court right now.
No, we're not.
You do that at home. Like when you're not
moderator.
When you're not on the podcast, you contemplate each side. But then when we get on, you pick a side.
I don't have to pick a side. I have my own opinion. I share it. This is what I think.
That's why your cousin Eddie the flip flopper.
I have my opinion. Listen,
changing the Cousin Ed versus Coach Ed segment to Cousin Ed's courtroom.
That's ridiculous. He's forcing me to pick a side. No, my side is I want to see Kravtsov get some run. I don't want to do it at the expense of wins. So I do understand him getting scratched. I mean, the team just won the last game, and nobody really deserves to step out. But the second there's an opportunity, you give it to him and you give him some run. Give him a chance.
I'm sure there'll be an injury along. AHL. What's the rule?
He can't go to the AHL. He's got to pass through waivers, and he won't make it through waivers. So he's gonna have to be scratched.
I mean, I'm sure at some point someone else is going to get hurt, and they'll have to bring him in for a few games. So
Right, that's what I mean. So I think it's not a bad thing. I haven't heard a peep about him complaining. So, if he's gonna just work out, observe, and learn how to be a pro and get in here and there, and we'll see what we have eventually. But at some point, you got to pull the trigger. It would kind of be a shame to trade him before we know what we have.
yeah, well, sometimes you have to.
Oh, this is a rough night. Coach is all over me tonight. What has it been like? Too long since we spoke or something? You're just getting it all out. You've been saving it up all week.
No, I'm just saying sometimes we have to.
I think Little Ed had a conversation with Coach Ed before and said we need to promote the Coach Ed versus Cousin Ed segment. So be hard on him.
Cousin Ed Courtroom.
I got friends texting me that listen to the show and they're like, "Dude, I listened to the podcast. I understand you a lot better now." I'm like, yeah, this is what I deal with. I take it out on you. Anyway, all right. So look, all that being said, it sounded super negative. I'm not really happy with the team's play. They got 3 points out of 4. Hopefully they can finish the road trip strong and head home and after the Thanksgiving break and continue. So we'll see what happens, but let's move into the broadcast banter. And I got some good notes on this.
Yeah, I have a couple myself.
Because I rewatched the game, so I didn't really. I was just
trying to
get through the game.
Couple Michelettis. I made sure to listen after the Taco Bell take because I really want to track this every game, but it's just been hard. Against Seattle, Jared McCann can really shoot the puck. Jared McCann.
Yeah, but he said in line with that,
Jared McCann.
He went on to say he's got a deflection goal, and he's known in the league for his wrist shot.
Yeah, he did say that because
I don't see any highlights on NHL Network with Jared McCann ripping wrist shots and scoring.
Right, like at least when they got Vetrano, I was like, oh, I've seen some sick goals. I've seen some sick goals by Vetrano,
with some wrist shots.
Against the Sharks, Timo Meier, boy oh boy, can he bury it?
What?
This is analysis. That was his analysis of Timo Meier. Boy, oh boy, can he bury it? I got so many. I'll let you go, Coach. I know you got something.
There was definitely a lot of Karlsson, like you said.
Oh my God, they were so far kissing his ass. I can't even imagine. They talk about Karlsson, and it was
it was rated R.
He missed. He got a shot, and Igor made the beautiful save on it. And Joe goes, "It just takes one shot for this guy." In other words, he's going to get one soon. It just takes one shot to get a goal. No kidding. And then he goes later. Joe goes, maybe he may be the best player in the league thus far.
Yeah, this season.
Better than Connor McDavid, who's got 30 points in 20 games.
Yeah, Karlsson's been unbelievable this year, though. He really has. So I'm not going to give him too much credit, too much slack for saying that.
The best player in the league?
He's like 3rd or 4th in the league in points, and he's a defenseman. Like of all players, he's like 3rd or 4th in the league.
Please.
On a team with 6 wins.
Coach Ed's just gonna go to bed. He's putting his notes away.
Yeah,
dude. You know what? I'll say this about Erik Karlsson.
I don't think he's 3rd or 4th in the league in points.
Yeah, he is. He is. Mike,
you got it. I got that.
He's up there. So he looks a little bit different than he did when he was younger. I think he's more sound defensively right now. I'm gonna just throw that out there. God. I haven't watched him every game.
You didn't watch that game the other night.
Then you didn't watch the Ranger game.
No, I sure did.
Yeah. Okay.
He's tied for 3rd, by the way.
What is he tied for 3rd in the entire league of all players? And
what's his plus minus?
He's on a team that has 6 wins.
I'm asking a question.
Matter.
I'm asking a question.
It does not matter.
What is that?
Plus minus 2.
All right, are we finishing the banter and just going into Coach Ed's?
He's a +2, and he's 3rd in the league in points.
Hold on, I got more banter.
Put it on pause. Let's put it on pause.
All right, more banter, and then we can move on. I got a few more.
All right.
So they're talking about Timo Meier again, and Joe says, "Sam, if they qualify him, they have to qualify him at $10 million." And then Sam goes, "Oh, that's a big number."
Yeah.
And then Joe says, "You like that number?" And then Sam says, "It's a nice number." And then Joe says, "He's in your territory, Sam." And then Sam says, "We could split it, Joe." What?
I heard that.
I was like, what? Literally,
was
I
dying.
wrote it down. I rewound it and I wrote it word for word. That was the exact conversation that took place.
That was
And then-
hysterical.
And then the
And the
last
game
one-
and the game's going on in the
It's going on.
meantime.
And then the last one I'll say is against Seattle. The start of the second period, you know how Sam always goes to Joe. What do you look for this period, Joe? And then like Joe gives his little spiel. Sam goes, "What do you look for in what do you look for in inning number 2?"
Yeah, I heard that too.
Jesus.
Joe's like, "Inning number 2, Sam," and then he just gives his analysis.
Oh my gosh.
I was dying.
Yeah.
And they both caught it, and it was just like they just moved on. They're like, whatever. It's just crazy. Anyway, that's all I got
Don't
for
even
that.
announce baseball.
I know. What do you look for in inning number 2, Joe?
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh.
Well, Sam's
Anyway.
a big Yankees fan, though.
I'm dying.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Baseball
all right.
season's over.
All right, you got any more? Or is this that's it?
I'm good on that.
All right, so we're gonna move into Coach Ed's Norris Watch, which is a new segment. We've kind of alluded to this in the past, and we've talked about Coach Ed going and watching all these defensemen around the league.
Well, comparing them to Fox, basically.
We did McAvoy last year.
Yeah,
We did
but that-
McAvoy,
We
did
a few here
Nurse.
and there, but now it's
But
a fish.
we're gonna do it more when it's appropriate, not every episode. So Coach Ed's Norris Watch. We got into the Karlsson banter already. Coach, give me your analysis of Erik Karlsson after watching the game.
Thought that was going to be Eddie's analysis.
We're gonna tag team it.
Okay.
So go ahead, you could start.
All right. Well, I'm sitting there watching the game, listening to Sam and Joe, like rooting for him to score a goal or get a point, basically, every time he touched the puck. And they kept talking about in the Detroit game that the Sharks played like 2 nights prior, that he had 4 points, a goal and 3 assists, but Detroit won 7-4. So I'm saying to myself, I got to look into this a little more. Something doesn't seem right. So I took your advice and I went on hockeyreference.com.
Oh,
So,
no free plugs.
Nice.
okay, 7-4 loss to Detroit. Karlsson had 1 goal, 3 assists, all at even strength. For this week's bonus, what was his plus minus?
I already know the answer, so
I'm gonna
Wasn't it
say -1.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you like that?
I
this is
rest
why I'm
my-
good at
I
trivia.
rest my
I'm just a good
case.
guesser.
I rest my case. So that means he was on for 5 goals
Okay.
of Detroit. 5 goals.
5. That's defensive. That's sound defensively.
Coach,
Against
let
a
me-
team that's arguably in the bottom half of the league in talent or whatever you
If you're
want.
that elite of a defenseman, that shouldn't happen.
Let me ask you a question, Coach. Trivia
Go
question.
ahead.
What
Now, let me
was-
ask you a question. Wait a
Wait,
second.
what?
When Adam Fox has 4 points in a game a couple weeks ago, I think he did it twice. What was his plus minus?
Tell me.
I don't know. Look it up. I guarantee it wasn't a minus. Guarantee it wasn't a minus because in those games where he gets 4 points, they've won.
Okay. Well, yeah, because he's on a better team than Erik
No.
Karlsson is. Yes.
No.
Yes. Wait, I want to make a point now.
Go ahead, make your point.
Okay. And I want you to tell me what you think Brian Leach's plus minus was in 1996-97.
We already went
Range-
through this. We was
No,
like
no,
minus
when did we
20
go through-
something.
No,
We
no,
talked
no, no,
about
no.
Leach's career.
Wait,
We're not
wait.
talking about Leach.
Hold on a second. No.
We're
let
not
me make my
talking
point.
about Leach.
Counsel.
And Leach
counsel.
won a Stanley Cup.
Counsel.
Karlsson,
I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't answer my question.
I
In
don't know.
96-97,
I
the
said
Rangers
minus
went to the Eastern,
26.
Rangers went to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. Were a good
I
team.
just said minus 26.
And he was plus 31.
Oh, okay.
And in 97, 98, the Rangers sucked. A year later, okay, and he was minus 36, a 60-point swing in plus minus.
Okay.
And he was minus 7 the year after that when they sucked. And he was minus 16 the year after that when they sucked. And he was minus 18 the year after that when they sucked. Brian Leach, a minus player. Is he a bad defensive
How
player?
many points did he have in those years?
50, 55, 26 and 50 games, 79.
Brian Leach was not a defensive liability.
So
those
plus
years.
minus is not a judge of whether you're a defensive liability.
I'm
my
putting
point.
it down as
well,
a
either
judge.
way, then
It's a
I'll
team-
go with the eye test.
It's a team stat. It's a team stat plus minus. Teams that are good,
I
high
get
in the
the whole
standings are
concept
plus,
of it.
and the teams that are bottom
I-
standings are minus.
I get the concept.
Okay, so Erik Karlsson on one of the worst teams in the NHL.
No, they were on a 4 out of
They're-
5 game winning
The
streak. or
the
whatever.
Sharks are one of the worst teams in the NHL. They have 17 points. Where does that rank them? 25th out of 32. It's one of the worst teams, coach. There's no, I mean, you're gonna say 25 out of 32 isn't one of the worst teams?
I'm not going to say that, but I'm not giving.
Okay, so he's
not
not one of the
giving
worst
him.
teams,
I'm not
and he's
giving him
plus
the
2.
Norris Trophy.
and he's plus 2.
There's no way he's getting
the
the
highest
Norris
he's ever
Trophy.
been is plus 16.
He's plus 2
So has
on
he
a team
never
that's
been on a
25th
good
in the
team?
NHL. What are the rest of the defensemen's plus minus on the Sharks?
But do you know why he's having a good season?
Because he's got like 12 goals.
No, because Sam said he went back to Sweden this offseason for the first time in like 8 years.
He's got the Swedish gas.
Didn't you hear him say that?
No, I did hear that. Yeah. So look at the other defensemen on San
Well,
Jose.
Joe said it. Somebody said it.
Hold on. Who else is? I don't even know the defenseman. The fuck? Who else is on D? Matt
Well-
Benning, -6. Barabanov, is he a defenseman? -7.
Yes, he's a
V-
defenseman.
Mark-Edward Vlasic, -7. Radim Simek, -8. Mario Ferraro, -10.
Yeah, how many points do those guys have?
It doesn't-
You're comparing. He's supposed to be
Wait,
elite winning
what?
the Norris Trophy. None of those other defensemen are.
Hold on. No, you're comparing Erik Karlsson's plus minus being only +2 against people similarly situated to him, which is other players on his team. That's what you're comparing him to. Comparing him league wide is pointless. Of course, Hampus
I'm
Lindholm's
comparing
plus
him
minus
league
is
wide
gonna be
to
a
a
plus
Norris
20.
Trophy. We're doing a Norris Trophy watch, which is league wide, not just with his teammates.
I'm just telling you right now, if he stays healthy and continues,
He
at
would
this
not
pace-
be on my team as a. I would take Fox over him in the Fox comparison, 100%. I watched Karlsson play. He makes a lot of good outlet passes, but nowhere on the level that Fox makes plays.
Yeah, I would take
Hey.
Fox over Karlsson right now. I
And he
agree with
does
that.
not take. And he does not play defensive positional hockey. He constantly floats around the defensive zone, waiting for the turnover or waiting for the interception or the block shot, so he can make that outlet pass or make the rush. He doesn't cover the guy in front of the net. He doesn't switch with a defenseman behind the net. He doesn't do anything he's supposed to do defensively. He's out there pretty much by himself the entire time. I was watching him. I even watched the highlights right before this. Every highlight I saw, I was just staring at Karlsson, and all he did was float around and puck watch the entire time. So, sure, if he wants to win the Norris Trophy for having the most points, fine, because that's pretty much all the Norris Trophy is, in my opinion, anyway.
Well,
So,
no,
and if
'cause
you're gonna
Roman
say
Josi didn't win it.
Erik Karlsson is better than Cale Makar or even Adam Fox or even Victor Hedman at this point, like, just no, absolutely not. It's just no.
Well,
he's
I
just
think-
not. He's not
Yeah,
a
but
good defenseman.
Ed, the Norris Trophy is now who's the best defenseman. It's who's the best defenseman this season. All those
Who
players
has
you
the
just
most
named,
points?
all those players you just named right now, I would take over Erik Karlsson if I was starting a team.
Right.
No question.
But
Hands
my
down.
point,
Hands down.
my point is what I'm saying is if he wins the Norris Trophy this year, it's just proving that the NHL just picks or the writers just pick who has the most points. Because Erik Karlsson does not play defense. Period.
I mean,
Like,
I don't
that's-
agree. I don't agree
period.
with that, but it's okay.
Okay. I watched the game. I
Okay.
watched all
well,
the highlights, and it's just him
somebody
just floating around the zone.
You know, I just want to say, like, you guys have
And
said
I remember it was the
this
same
twice
thing in
now.
Ottawa
I
in
watched
the
the
playoffs.
game.
It was the
Do you
same
watch the
exact thing.
game? Hold on. Do you watch the game? I watch the game. I spend every Tuesday night doing a Rangers podcast. Do you think I didn't watch the game? Of course I watched the game. And I don't see
didn't say
the
you didn't
same
watch the
things.
game.
Well, I'm just saying, you guys keep mentioning you watching the game. Like, of course I watch the game. I don't see that. I don't see it. I see an elite player, a speed, passing, agility, playmaking ability, domination out there. That kind of a player. That's what I see in Erik Karlsson when healthy. The problem is he hasn't been healthy for like 6 seasons.
Maybe he
And-
should play right wing.
Well, yeah, I get where you like defensemen that are two-way players. You like more of that style, and I get it. And I agree the Norris Trophy should be more. It's not necessarily the
Or
best
make another trophy.
defenseman.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I don't. Absolutely don't disagree with you.
Well, that's the whole point. We're supposed to be.
No,
doing
I
that
don't
also.
disagree with you. I just think you go too far with the Karlsson rhetoric. So I just want to be clear. I probably would not say he's the Norris Trophy winner. If I had to gun to my head, I would probably pick somebody else. If I had to watch every game and analyze, he probably wouldn't be the pick just because he has the most points. I agree with that. That's not necessarily what should be the factor, right? Who has the most points? It's a factor. It's just a factor. But the Karlsson rhetoric is just insane. I mean, you guys are like, he sucks. Like, what are you, crazy? Guys, I mean, do you see this guy's
I didn't
stats
say he
for his career?
sucks. I didn't say
I
he
mean,
sucks.
Eddie just kind of said he's not a good defenseman.
He doesn't
Like,
play
As a
good
defenseman,
defense. I
he
agree
doesn't
with
play
that.
good defense. Like,
Well,
I could say that a player is good, but he should be playing offense, or he should be playing wing if he's going to be scoring that amount of points.
So
Like,
no
he doesn't
defenseman should
focus
score
on
points.
playing Yes, he absolutely can, but like he also has to play a little bit of defense. We say all the time that Adam Fox lacks defensive ability. Did I ever say he sucks? Like, no, he just lacks defensive ability. Erik Karlsson very much lacks defensive ability. Like, it's just like it's night and day for him. Adam Fox, like, that's a small part of his game. It's just like I can't stand it.
I would take Adam Fox over Erik Karlsson, though. I agree.
It's not even close.
For
And
all
I
that
remember when I was watching
arguing,
the Ottawa series 10 years ago, however long ago it was. It was the same
I
exact
know.
player.
And we've been having Erik Karlsson arguments since you were like, how long?
Me
has
and
he
my
been playing?
college friends do it all the time. They still troll me to this day. My friend Bear has been sending me every Twitter article he sees every single day. I want to kill him.
He's been in the league since 2009, so that's a long time ago. 13 years we've been arguing.
He's a very talented hockey player. He's a very talented hockey player. He's a very good player, but he does not play defense.
Coach, you know what his plus minus for his career is?
No.
Minus 75.
That's insane. I know plus minus doesn't matter, but that's insane.
He was minus 30 his second
and everyone's
season.
saying that he's a Hall of Fame lock.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's got 2 Norris trophies. How is he not going to make the Hall of Fame?
Because he shouldn't have had those 2 Norris trophies.
He does have a really dumb mustache, though. I will say that.
He looks like Jack Sparrow.
What is with that? Like, who decided that was a good idea?
No, he doesn't have that haircut anymore.
The mustache?
I don't think so.
So
I think that's an old picture.
Oh, okay. Well,
So yeah, Fox wins the Norris watch this week.
So is that what the Norris watch is? Is Fox better than this player, or is it just analyzing that player? I thought you
Well,
guys.
that's how
No,
it
I
started
was.
out, where it's like-
I started out comparing him to like whoever's in the Norris Trophy conversation with him.
Yeah.
And I said Darnell Nurse. I watched him play in person, and you said he's not even close. But that was always talked about on TV when I.
Oh, right. I remember the Darnell.
So I would go and watch it and watch that one defenseman, and then I watch Fox live, and it's. You got to remember,
Yeah.
It's different to me. It's different watching live because what they
I
do
agree.
behind the play is what counts.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What
And
makes
that's
a
my point,
difference,
is where
not
they
what
don't look at
counts.
that. They don't look at that stuff nearly as much.
It's hard to see that on TV. I agree. So when you see Fox live, he's
When
just
I say to you, Ed, you're not watching the game because I know you. Karlsson gets the puck on his stick, and you're watching. You're not watching the TV screen where he is when the puck is at the other side of the rink.
right. Okay.
Or
That's
at
what
the
we're
point.
talking about.
I mean, so you think I watch the game by just following the puck around? That's it. I don't watch any
For the most
anything
part.
That's not true, but it's fine.
Okay.
That's how
I mean, it's
a
not just you.
casual
It's just
hockey
it's
fan
just
watches
a natural
hockey.
thing to do.
Yeah, I know, but you watch for specific things. I'm looking for who's setting up, who's open. I call plays before they happen, just like you, coach.
I
You're-
think because
you're
You're
not
not
watching
watching what
one eye.
Karlsson. You're
You're
not going to waste.
insulting my intelligence.
No,
here.
you're not
Like,
going to waste time watching the game. Just watching Karlsson without the puck.
No, I'm not going to waste time defending how I watch hockey.
You know,
That's
we
what I'm not
we
gonna
need to
do.
find.
So
we
right
need to
now-
see
we're
when-
gonna
You
move
are
on.
right now.
So we're gonna move on because this is
We need to see when the
ridiculous.
Sharks are on ESPN Plus because they'll probably have the solo camera on Karlsson.
Right, the spotlight.
Yeah,
Um,
And I have
Anyway.
to find out how to get ESPN Plus.
minus 75.
anyway, so yeah,
What's
Fox is better
Leach's
than-
plus
Fox is better than
minus for his
Karlsson.
career?
Mike, look that up. I think he's probably plus 100, something like that. I would guess. I just saw it, so it's not really a true guess. It was like somewhere in my brain.
Subliminally, you saw it.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in my brain. I think he was like plus 100, if I remember. But yeah, he had some big years early with plus minus. Rangers were really good in the early 90s and stuff. So, got an answer?
Plus 25.
That's it. Oh, so much
Yeah.
for my brain. Must be fried. Must be fried. The Karlsson talk has fried my brain. All right, moving on. Let's
You got 111 power play goals. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
yeah, I don't know. I saw something. Let's go to our stars of the week. All right, offensive player of the week. I realize I always go to you guys first, so I'm gonna go to me first. Change it up a little bit here. I went with Vinny Trocheck for these 2 games. He had the power play goal. He had like how many posts? And that's more banter. Every time he hits the post, they say, "Oh, he's got a streak going. I'm hitting the post."
He does have a
Um,
lot of posts.
Yeah, so he hit the post a couple times. He had the tying goal against Seattle to get us a point. I think he got an assist in that game as well. So I'll give it to Trocheck.
Yeah.
And
He had a great assist in that game.
yeah, for sure. So
You
I'll
don't
go-
remember how he got the assist?
the power play
Yeah, how?
deflection.
No, he was
Oh,
tied. He
Sorry,
was
I
tied.
wasn't watching the game, so I don't remember.
Exactly.
Tell me, Coach.
He was tied up in the bumper spot, and he kicked the puck to Kreider.
That was nice.
Kreider sent it across to Zibby.
Yeah, that was
That's
nice.
right. That's right.
And Sam and Joe made a point to reiterate how his stick was tied up over and over again.
Right. No, I remember that. So anyway, he stood out to me generating chances, and I took him. By you, Ed.
I went with Foxy. I think without him right now, they don't have much offense at all. I think he's driving a lot of it on the power play and even strength, obviously, what we talked about before. So without him on the point or without him out there, it's looking kind of grim.
I like that. Mikey.
I went with Troche too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back you up on that one.
Oh, that's nice.
Piggyback.
Thanks, man.
Give you some
Coach?
love.
I
Easy
went
over
with
there.
Troche also.
Wow.
Dominant force out there for the Rangers. Not dominant, but steady and makes a difference. Almost every shift he's out there. I'm not going to say every shift, but a majority of the shifts, he's making something happen.
Yeah, in these 2 games, I felt like more so. He's just all over the place. So he's playing well. All right, defensive player of the week. Let's go to Little Ed, our defensive coach. Who you got?
I went with Chesty this week. I said
Same.
before, what?
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I said before that he stepped up these 2 games. He's trying to get back into his form, or definitely getting back into his form. And with the defense lacking a little bit, I think it's obviously important for him to step up, and he did. I didn't
Yeah,
really
for
see
sure.
any defenseman I could give it to other than Fox. But defensively, you got to give it to Chesty.
Yeah, I went with Chesty too. Coach, who'd you take?
I got Chesty.
Mike?
All around.
Yeah, he was a beast. He was a beast these games. Hopefully that
No.
continues. We need him.
Yeah, definitely noticeable difference.
I wonder if he's going to play tonight. Is it announced yet? Game's on
I
half
said
hour.
it before on Faceoff, Daily Faceoff.
So it's just Sturkin, and I guess I'll lock tomorrow night. We'll see. All right, highlight play of the week. Mike, you got your highlight?
Igor saved, man.
Which one?
Saving the game. Saving the
last
game
one?
against against San
Oh,
Jose.
yeah.
Yeah, that save
Yeah,
was insane.
That was Thursday night, right? We got home from practice really late, so I caught the end of the game, and I couldn't believe that they couldn't just finish the full 60. They had to make
just
it
get the
interesting with
2-0
like 2.5
shutout.
minutes. Yeah, with that
No,
2.5
it
minutes.
was like 30 seconds. It wasn't 2.5 minutes.
VC blows the empty netter. Yeah, but I'm saying the last 2.5 minutes is like kind of what I caught, and defensively they just looked horrible. The Sharks had a bunch of chances even before they pulled the goalie. So they
Yeah,
just
he
like I would imagine the last like 10 minutes they probably just mailed it in. No, what they scored with like 7 left, something like that.
No, it's
So after
15. I
that,
think.
whatever. Yeah, it was just.
Did you watch the game?
I caught the end of it. I told you, and then I rewatched it up to that point.
No, how did you watch the game? What was
do you
your
mean?
Process?
I told you I watched Karlsson for a lot of it.
What'd you get, Little Ed? What's your highlight?
I went with Kako versus the Sharks in the first period when he like kind of caught it behind him and like threw it to himself. He didn't score, but it was just a highly skilled play, and I think that's what we've been talking about. We want to see more of that from them.
I like that little niche play. I went with a Shesterkin save on the breakaway against Seattle.
Oh, that was crazy.
In the second period, because that was the Shesty from last year. It was like every time someone had a breakaway, we didn't even flinch. Yeah, we didn't even flinch. We're like, oh, he's got it. No fear that the other team was going to score. But that kind of, started changing a little bit in the playoffs last year. And then this year, haven't really seen it. So it was like, gave me some hope. Like, here we are. Yeah. Coach, what do you got?
I got that power play goal with Trocheck kicking it to Kreider, cross crease for the empty net to Zibby. That was a big goal in the Kraken game.
The Kraken. All right. Yeah, that was a great play. Key contributor award. Coach, start us off.
I got Goody. I love the way he plays, and he's out there no matter what line, like we talked about. I just like the way he's playing. I think he's a big part of
took him last week too.
Yeah, I just love the way he plays. He's out there and he's making the right plays. Moved up to the second line. They won a game and they got the point. I think he's doing good.
Yeah, I think they gotta find like a consistent line for him and not move him around so much and let him kind of just like settle into a spot somewhere.
I mean, I would pick him, but Gallant had to use him in overtime and leave that sour taste in my mouth. So.
Well, it's not his fault he was put out there. What do you want to say? I don't want to go out, Coach.
I know. I went with Coach GA. I went with Coach GA. He had a big couple games contributed to the points that we got. So
and he got the third star, Joe. He's driving to the net more, Joe.
And he's capitalizing on his chances.
Well, again, he drew a penalty. Like that was a big play. I mean, he may not have capitalized.
He drew a couple of penalties. I don't know if he did the Kraken game, but the game before that.
He draws penalties with his speed, and that's important. At least the power plays, that's how we're going to score goals. So I like the way he's playing right now. Mike,
going with Goody also. Like Coach said, I just love the way he's playing out there, and
I mean, it is the award we dubbed the Jesper Fast Key Contributor Award, right? So when you think of Jesper Fast with the Rangers, you think of that's pretty much Gaudreau's role right now, right? So that he just like fits into that award perfectly. So I get it. Little Ed.
I went with Gouch as well.
Okay, a little split.
Coach.
Little split. All right. So now the part that everyone's been waiting for, Coach Ed's Copyright Doghouse Award. We got a lot of people in the doghouse, by the way. We're gonna start with Coach Ed. So, Coach, last week you left ESPN Plus and Kraftsov in the doghouse and put nobody else in. Is there anybody else in? Well, let's start this. Is ESPN Plus out of the doghouse?
They're out. I haven't seen anything to leave them in, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, ESPN Plus is out. I don't even know how to keep track of this anymore. And then what about Kravtsov? Is Kravtsov out?
He's got to do something before he's out. But how many people are we allowed to have in?
As many as you want.
All right. I'm adding Hedel and Panarin. I thought they were both pretty non-existent, these two games, for their skill level. And I kept track in the Kraken game with less than 3 minutes left. Hedel made the giveaway. No, Hedel made the giveaway when the Kraken took a 2-1 lead. And then with 30 seconds left, Brett gave the puck away on a pass he didn't have to make, and almost blew the game. And the Rangers were able to come back. And in the Sharks game, they were both very similar in those situations. I don't have specifics, but way too many giveaways late in the game in tight games.
All right, so Hedel, Panarin, and Kravtsov. Shocking doghouse for Coach Ed. Very surprised at the people in his doghouse. Mike, last week you had Jacob Trouba in, but you took Revo out. So is Trouba out?
Trouba's got to be out.
Well, let Mike make
He's
his
asking
own
me, right?
I know, but he's got to be out.
Don't bully Mike. Don't bully.
He had a great game against the Sharks.
Now I'm gonna change it up, but yes, he is out. He was definitely out. And Panarin's in for me, quote unquote, arguably one of the best players in the league in these last two games. Didn't have a point. We keep talking about the giveaways. We keep talking about the effort level. It just needs to step up, big time.
Yeah, he should be at a point per game.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially against the Kraken.
I haven't made a bread tracker in a while.
He's 22 points in 19 games.
Against two of the worst teams in the league.
He farts points out.
0 points.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. He should. I know he's at a point per game, but he should be getting a point every game.
No, I agree. All right.
Two of the worst teams in the league.
So, Little Ed, you just said the Sharks weren't one of the worst.
Well, you said they were.
They are.
Well, okay.
Anyway, okay, Little Ed. So you had Trouba in, you left him in, and you put Kravtsov in there to join him last week. So is Trouba out?
Yeah, Trouba's out. Kravtsov, I got to leave in because we haven't seen him play. But I'm also adding in Miller. I just need to see more from him. I talked about it in depth before. That was a terrible play on the overtime, and something like that just shouldn't happen to him. So that's just a really specific play that stood out. But overall, he's just not playing well. Like we already really touched on everything. So
wait, maybe can Kravtsov come out because he's actually healthy?
You could take whoever you want out for whatever reason.
Is that a valid reason?
You could take anyone.
Can we take him out because he's practicing well?
Yeah, it's tough to put someone in the doghouse for being hurt, but yeah, he hasn't done anything to take him out, so I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so last week I had Trouba. I put Trouba in, and Panarin I left in. So I'm gonna take Trouba out. I agree, he's did enough to get out of the doghouse. I'm leaving Panarin in, and I'm putting Gerard Gallant in for using
just for that
Jimmy VC and Barclay Goodrow in overtime. So yes, I'm putting him in there. It cost us a point most likely. Anyway, so that's it. So Gallant and Panarin, that should be a fun doghouse to be in. Anyway. All right. So we got Mikey P doing the 150, right? So before we do trivia, you want to hop over to Mikey P?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rangers Ed 150. We're finally seeing some life from the underperforming Western Division, while the Metro is still a bit of a slog outside of the New Jersey Devils. Around the league, out west in the Pacific Division, Vegas is showing no signs of slowing down and still sit atop the division at 15-4-1. They're 7 points ahead of the LA Kings, who are just as offensively gifted as they are porous on the defensive end. Kings are tied for third with 70 goals for, but are also tied for 29th, having surrendered 76 goals this season. Seattle's on a bit of a heater, posting a 7-2-1 record through their last 10, while Calgary and Edmonton sit in 4th and 5th place respectively and have yet to really get rolling. In the Central Division, the talk of the town has finally become the St. Louis Blues. Dallas and Colorado hold the 1 and 2 spots in the division and are each on a fantastic run of play through their last 10, but St. Louis has finally found their legs and are riding a 7-game win streak into a tough weekend in Florida where they'll see the Lightning and Panthers on back-to-back nights. Blues are currently sitting in 4th place, 3 points behind both the Jets and the Avalanche, and 5 behind the first place Dallas Stars. Back east in the Atlantic Division, the Bruins are also showing no signs of slowing down. They've won 7 straight, including a big win over Tampa on Monday night. And for the first time this season, they have a completely healthy roster with Jeremy Swayman returning to the lineup last week. Bad news for the Maple Leafs as they lose yet another one of their key pieces in Morgan Rielly to long-term injured reserve after a center ice collision with Kyle Palmieri on Tuesday night in a Leafs 3-2 overtime loss to the Islanders. The Leafs were finally finding their footing, posting a 6-1-3 record through their last 10, but Rielly is a key piece for this team who logs significant minutes and power play time, so we'll have to see how the Leafs' explosive offense can compensate for an anemic defense. Finally, the Panthers are struggling, falling to 5th place behind Detroit after losses to Columbus, Calgary, and Dallas last week. The Cats face off against Boston on Wednesday night, so look for the Panthers to bounce back from some bad losses and get their season back on track. Last but not least, in the Metro Division, the New Jersey Devils continue to reign supreme and are riding a 13-game win streak into a big-time tilt against the Leafs on Wednesday night. Not much else to say about the Devils other than that they are for real. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league, having only surrendered 44 goals to date, while Carolina and the Islanders currently occupy the 2 and 3 spots in the standings, and the Rangers sit in 4th. With the exception of the Flyers and Capitals having abysmal weeks, the rest of the squads in this division, including Columbus, had very mediocre runs of play, hovering around 500 through their last 10. Got some exciting hockey coming up, so stay tuned for more updates next week. This has been your 150.
Mikey P. Getting a little chilly up in Nova Scotia.
Newfoundland. Yeah, we got Mikey P up on YouTube now, so we're adding that to the channel. So if you want to just check that out every week on its own, you should definitely do that. And he's going to try and perfect that for us and hopefully get some props involved. I mean, I'm going to try and do something about the ugly Marchand jersey behind him, but I don't think he's going to take that down. So we'll see.
Sometime soon.
He's on St. John's Island, by the way, Dad.
You'd think I'd have like a legal pad by my desk or something. All right.
Why would a lawyer have a legal pad
Yeah, I know.
at his desk?
All right. I found one. Legal pad. All right, Mike, hit us with your trivia.
It's actually funny, after hearing all the banter back and forth, and then realized the trivia would make a lot more sense now.
I
right.
also just want to say that although live did not have a chance to hear the 150, I cannot wait to hear all the Erik Karlsson stuff that's on the Rangers at 150 from Mikey P. Just saying. Anyway. All right, ready.
You guys ready? Which New York Ranger holds the record with the highest average for points per game?
Rangers what? Say that again?
Okay, hold on. Mike, it's a good question, but there's a couple things here. There needs to be a minimum games played, because someone could have played like one game and have 5 points. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we'll
so
go.
Give me like a minimum games played. It could be anything, but more than like 2.
Yeah, we'll go more
It's
than
not
2.
going to be that.
I'll go with that.
Wait, what was
Is
the
it
question?
just the player?
Well,
Or is it the points too?
Mackenzie Skapsky holds the Rangers goalie record for like goals against, because he's had played 2 games and gave up 0 goals. He had 2 shutouts in 2 games or whatever.
All right, I have a feeling it's going to be someone we know.
Can we get the question again?
Who has
Which
the
New
most
York
points per
Ranger?
game?
Correct.
In his career?
Correct.
Career with the Rangers or
Rangers.
career?
Career with the Rangers.
Sure, Mike?
We have to guess the points too, or just the player?
Just a play.
All right, I'm ready. You guys make this very difficult.
Trying to get clues.
Yeah.
It's close, cuz. Oh boy. Point goes to Coach Ed.
Coach
What?
Ed with the bread man. Yager
I put
second.
Yager too.
Yager second.
I was gonna
yes.
put Yager, but by Eddie saying and Mike saying it's related to what we've been talking about, I went with Fred.
Ah, see that?
I
You
did a
pay attention.
deduction.
That's what happens when you listen when other people speak. It's a skill that older people have. Good job, Coach.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
Artemi
job.
Panarin's averaging 1.32. Yager
Where's
was
my
at.
little ribbon in the top of the
Oh
screen?
no, hold
there?
on. Hold on. I gotta put my ribbon because I'm still in first.
No, I should get the ribbon
forgot.
for getting the right answer.
I screwed up. I gotta do it next time. I was supposed to do it before
Damn, I
we
thought
started.
Yager was definitely it.
What were the points, Mike? I'm sorry.
Panarin's at 1.32.
What was Yager?
1.15.
Wow, he's way ahead. 1.32 in his career with the Rangers. That's insane, dude. That's a lot of points. So for the season, that was the first time I got it wrong. That was the first time I got it wrong. So I got 5. Little Ed in second with 4, tied with Coach Ed. So close for the season. 5-4-4.
Nipping at the heels.
And overall, cumulatively, you're still 8.5 behind me, Coach. So
Who's competing cumulatively?
well, I am. I have the
Who
whole.
made that the rule?
I have the standings since episode 27.
Yeah, well, what about before that? Maybe I was ahead.
No, I don't think we did it. I think that's something we started eventually.
Oh, okay.
Because I would have kept track.
Pop's calendar.
You know me. I definitely
have
kept
it.
track. Come on.
I should give the calendar to you, Mike, in case you want some questions.
All right, so let's go. We got 15 minutes till game time. Are we gonna stay up and watch the game tonight, or are we gonna watch it tomorrow?
I'll probably watch
stay
it
up for a little while and fall asleep at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot too. I
Late.
just don't think I'll make it till 1:30.
Yeah, it's late.
But we'll catch you tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving, and I hope fans out there, you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and you listen to this at Thanksgiving maybe.
Yeah, it'll be released Thursday morning, so share with your family without a doubt.
Yeah, eat some turkey, loosen that belt.
Put the pot on while you're eating turkey dinner.
Subscribe to the YouTube and throw it
Not
up
this
on the big
episode.
screen.
It's a lot of anxiety in this episode. Maybe go back a few.
No, positive vibes. We're gonna get 2 wins. Finish off with 2 wins on the West Coast, and then we what do they got?
Home against Edmonton.
Yeah,
Home against
Saturday.
Edmonton on Saturday. I'll be there with Lindsay.
Is Drew
So-
Doughty healthy?
We'll see McDavid. I'm
Is
not
Drew
sure.
Doughty healthy? Because if he is, we got Coach Ed Norris watch on Drew Doughty tonight, maybe.
Another Norris watch. He's
No,
not
not
really a candidate.
A legit
now.
Norris watcher.
No, but you can give an update on where he is in his career. I mean,
He's definitely a top defenseman in the
I
league.
bet you he plays better defense than Karlsson.
Ooh.
Well, I remember watching him in person when I was in Anaheim last year, and I remember saying to you guys that he was he's a good player.
yeah, he is for sure. I mean,
Physical, makes the passes when he needs to make passes. Decisions at the offensive blue line. He's a good player.
yeah, nobody on Anaheim for you to watch, and then you got who's in the next game? Ottawa,
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Nobody there.
I already did the Darnell Nurse.
What about New Jersey? The 28th.
Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, I got to watch Dougie Hamilton.
Check out Ryan Graves, ex-Ranger, dumped Ryan Graves in a trade for Chris Begris, who never even played a game for the Rangers. Ryan Graves goes on to be an NHL defenseman, but we were trying to fill that spot with like Jared Tenorti and Jack Johnson, and we couldn't give a kid a chance to make it, So now he's on an arch rival playing with Dougie Hamilton. So
That's what it is.
it's good stuff.
It's a good story for him.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool story for him. All right, everyone enjoy Thanksgiving. I love you guys.
You too.
Talk to you next
Enjoy.
week.
Say hi.
Happy
Love you
Thanksgiving.
guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Everyone check out our YouTube, subscribe, follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And
Hit that like
listen on,
button.
everywhere you can find podcasts.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
We're on Amazon Prime now.
Are we?
We are.
Like on the
So you
app?
can, you can listen to
Tell
no,
Alexa.
not on like the Amazon app. I think you gotta download Amazon Music.
So you could
So
be
you can
like, "Hey Alexa,
listen
play
to-
Rangers End."
Yep. You can listen to us on Amazon Music if you have a Prime membership for free.
Wow, we're all over the line.
On the
Wow,
line.
moves. Making moves.
Keep up the
So,
good work.
All right, boys.
Thanks everyone.
Enjoy the
Keep up
game.
Support.
All right,
Love you
boys.
guys.
Good luck.
Love you guys.